Hello everybody, it's me, Sprig from Frog Show. There will be spoilers about the movie this summer in Korea. Look out.
Okay, yeah, I'll cut that in.
And welcome back to another episode of Cafe Lily with your hosts, Rosa and Kelsey. Kelsey and Rosa.
Thank you, Rosa. It's good to be here, and it's been a little while since we had a customer, hasn't it?
It's Connie, our friend Connie.
Welcome, Connie.
Hello. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I've always wanted to come by the cafe. It always seems so inviting. So, I just wanted to stop in, see what was going on.
Well, since you're here, have you seen any movies lately, by chance?
I might have seen one, and something tells me that you have also seen it.
How can you tell? It was like you were in the movie theater with us.
We went to the Cafe Lily Theater and all saw the movie.
I don't think that theater belongs to us.
Well, not now. Not yet.
It's always good to have a goal.
Now, I'd like to announce that we all saw The Summer, the Korean GL movie that's been talked about recently.
You did say last time that that's what we were going to watch.
Of course. I threatened everyone we were going to watch it.
And it was a threat.
It was a threat. It was a threat on my heart. Now, this was first shown at an independent film festival. It is by Red Dot Culture House. And oh boy.
Where do we start?
Well, the movie kind of tells a story over a number of years about a couple that first meet during a summer in high school, and it follows them into their adult years.
It follows our two characters, Soo-ee and Lee-young. They first met after Lee-young got hit by a soccer ball.
It happens to the best of us.
They have a bit of a meet cute, but it's not very cute at all. It's more like a meet horrendy.
A meet terrible nosebleed.
And so, Soo-ee escorted her to the optometrist, and then she got a new pair. And from then on, they started to get close.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to pick up. Pretty soon they're very shy, but they're holding hands. They get together. They're moving on up.
And they're drinking strawberry milk.
They're drinking strawberry milk.
What's more romantic than that?
It needs to be said that this movie is very, very, very pretty. Just very lovely lighting. Just some very, very nice effects. It's very pretty.
Yeah. They live in like a pretty rural area.
They've both got big dreams, though. They want to move to the big city.
But they'll do it together.
Yeah. Now, we don't see this like very early in, but we find out later on that Suya has been talking a lot about her dreams of growing up, becoming a star soccer player. She's been playing a lot of soccer in high school. She was playing with the college team until, well...
The incident. Yeah, she gets her leg injured in a game and can't seem to play anymore.
In the beginning, we get a lot of like Young and Suya's like relationship. When it first started, it was very sweet, very loving, very tender. They started to embrace each other, to be affectionate and like caring towards one another. But then we kind of just start seeing like the little incidents that happen throughout their school years and how cruel a lot of the other kids are.
Mm-hmm.
Like we even seen it with like the incident with Seo when she got injured. It was no accident, clearly, because we see the kid who did it. He was like smiling and everything. Like, jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. But the two of them, they sort of figure out their sexuality together at this time, and they still go forward with their plans. Basically, this is a very short running movie. It's all of this, their high school lives. It happens pretty fast in in the story before that moves on.
Yeah, it's not a full-length movie. It's only 60 minutes long.
But still, it felt like a century, I'm gonna be honest.
A little bit.
Just the emotional investment. It's like I was checking like, oh my god. So much has happened and then we're this far in.
You were posting despairing reaction gifs.
Of course.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah. That's a certified Rosa seal of approval. And one thing I wanted to bring up was during the incident is that Suya was just by the bridge and then Young is trying to comfort her and then just telling her, hey, if it's too hard for you, then you don't have to do it. You could stop. And oof.
Yeah, we keep coming back to this moment throughout the film.
It was a moment that did a lot to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
how were you throughout the film?
That's a bit of a big question. I don't know.
Kelsey, sit down. Tell us your emotional state. What were you thinking? Start from the beginning.
Welcome to Cafe Lily Therapy.
That's kind of what this episode is. I feel like this is a bit of a Cafe Lily therapy episode. Maybe that's why you brought me in. Maybe I'm the Cafe Lily therapist.
Well, thank you for being here.
I don't know how much I can help. Taking a drag on my cigarette. I don't know about this one.
Looking at Kelsey, this one has our
I didn't say that.
No, but many other people have.
Okay, well, I can't argue with the research community at large, I suppose. But
that's for another time. We must focus on our Yuri research to discuss like why this movie made us feel the way we do. And I gotta say, it is such a hairy time seeing these two girls mess up in ways where like, no, don't do that.
basically, from that moment on of when she is injured, the two of them just... There is a divide in their communication from that point on, and it does not go well in the end. Let's get that out of the way. Let's all pour one out.
It was just the little pebble, the little snowflake that started rolling down the hill.
And Suyi is such an interesting character in that way because we mostly see her from Lee-kyung's perspective right up until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And you really do get to understand why she is the way she is. And there's a particularly interesting scene, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, where Lee-kyung, after they've both moved to the big city, Lee-kyung finds out there's a lesbian bar, and she's really excited about it. She goes by herself, and she has a great time talking to other gay people, and she comes back to Suyi and says, oh, it's great. We should go together next time. And Suyi kind of says, no, I'm not interested in that. I don't think we need other people. We're fine just by ourselves. That's kind of shocking for Lee-kyung in the moment, but also looking back at all the incidents that happened when they were in high school, you do understand why she thinks that way.
Yeah.
They never really had anyone else to like be like a support network. They didn't really have much. Like I remember seeing the father and her coach, and it's just like discussing like what to do about like that kid, and there's like, yeah, no one's gonna care, and it's rough for them.
I think something interesting is that there's a scene where they're asking, you know, what they are to each other, and, you know, Suyi is very... She doesn't really talk about herself, like, any. She doesn't say, like, what she's up to. She just does it, comes back home, and when asked, she's Young's, you know, a girlfriend, or her wife, or something like that. But other than that, that's all she really has to say about herself. Suyi starts to be a little uncertain about things.
Yeah, it's just slowly breaks apart, and like I think even say best, Suyo's like always had to rely on herself, and she didn't really want her to worry. And it's just like that lack of communication, that lack of being able to be vulnerable to each other, just like hurts their relationship.
And then in walks an attractive lesbian nurse to help treat your burn at the bakery.
Yes, this nurse, Unji, from the hospital across the road from the bakery, but she also goes to the lesbian bar, which Egon likes so much, and eventually starts working at as a bartender.
From there, she was able to see other people, meet up with other people, and hang out with them. Now, we mentioned that Suyu didn't want to go to the lesbian bar, but for the first time ever, she comes in. When Eon saw her, she felt ashamed. Like, you could tell the way she looks at her, there's like no happiness or admiration, it's just shame.
Yeah, her coming to the bar does not go as well as was hoped.
Yeah, Suyi does not get along with the others at all, but that it's kind of two-sided. She just doesn't mesh well with them, but she doesn't really make an effort to at all because she's already decided that she doesn't need other people.
Yeah.
Suyi's definitely a very guarded person and probably a little bit emotionally unavailable, and Young is maybe looking for something a little bit more.
She really did, because when she was working in the bakery, when she saw Heejun's watch and everything, just being a bit more ambitious than Masuya is, it just made her want to see herself in someone else's arm, to see how it's like.
I loved the scene where Young meets up with Unji at a restaurant or something, and they're just talking, and then Young starts talking about how much she loves Suyi and how happy they are in a relationship, and Unji goes, "Oh, right, okay," and leaves them.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Head in hands. She clearly wants to pursue something different, but she also doesn't feel like she can leave what she has, and it's just yeah.
It's like so confusing to her because she has a lot of frustration with Suya, and I think that's what like making her drift apart from her. Like, she's looking for Suya, but like she couldn't find her, and it just made her want to like be with Yujin more. And like after that moment, they just stopped talking to each other for a while, for too long. And she just starts breaking down and crying, and then she comes home, and Suya's like trying her best to comfort her.
Oh, I need another round of drinks
Right.
at the Cafe Lily bar.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been keeping this one for days like this. Modelo? It's so intense. It's like they're not bad for each other, but
They're kind of all they've ever known
right.
from the moment they figured out anything about their sexualities, and it's just that's kind of all they've known, and it doesn't get better from there, unfortunately.
I think I feel like it's the thing is I think they're trying their best to relive their time in high school when they were young. They didn't have to worry too much, well, as much. Where their first embrace was everything. I think that's what they've been trying to relive every time they like start being affectionate with each other. But like, that's what it is. They're just trying to relive something that isn't there or all that there. And it's like at the same time, it's like they're always in the constant mix of like happy memories and like frustrating memories.
Yeah, it keeps returning to that time on the bridge.
Right. Because really, I can't blame neither of them for how they react, but at the same time, it's just something they were never able to address.
Yeah, it's interesting because, I don't know, both of them are sympathetic, but they're just, it's just not working out. Eventually they,
She took her time. This was after she got a fever, a really bad fever, to the point where Sooyeon had to carry her to the hospital. But she decided that she wanted to break things off with Suya. She thought about it over and over and over again of what she's gonna say, and then she told her she felt that they're not good for each other, that she's not good for her, Suya. And it's such a heartbreaking scene because, like, it is interspersed with, like, moments of, like, them being happy together, being loving together, spending time with each other, like, doing things for each other.
they show Suyi carrying her just all the way to the hospital, just on her back. And it's just right as that, and Suyi doesn't have anything. Suyi just doesn't refute anything. Just stays there at the table.
And then leaves. And then leaves Aeon. I think what hurts even more is just seeing her say, "My affair with Eugene lasted for about a year."
Yeah, just immediately after the breakup, just a confirmation that didn't go anywhere either. It's just how it is.
That's just how it is. It's just they really didn't understand what they wanted.
Young just like she packs up her stuff, she's leaving. Sui's crying so much, but
Like, it's so heartbreaking when she said, "So I guess I'll never hear you say my name again." It's so heartbreaking because, like, genuinely, Suya loves her so much. She cares a lot about her. Just it just didn't work out.
I couldn't communicate. And in the end, Young feels like, she doesn't have the right to cry about this. And that line got me. Oh.
Yeah, it's very sad seeing them not even facing each other.
Right.
It made the movie so sad.
It was such a complicated relationship, and the whole thing is just E Young looking back at when she dated her, like trying to look back at everything in retrospect, trying to understand it. And I think even what's was such an interesting statement of, like, E Young saying, like, calling her relation with Yuja an affair, like, not an actual relationship but just an affair, and it's very harrowing.
There's a real standout moment in the ending for me, which calls back to an earlier scene where it's when they'd first moved to the city. Suyi has this terrible little apartment that's all she can afford, and Ikyung comes over and visits, and they're in bed together, and Ikyung starts coughing because the apartment's a little bit moldy. And then there's a scene in the ending where it shows just little moments from their relationship here and there, and one of the scenes is Suyi cleaning the mold from her apartment, and it's just a real moment of, no, she did actually care a lot. She was putting a lot of effort into the relationship in her own way, but perhaps those gestures just weren't compatible with what Ig-young needs.
Yeah, that's the most heartbreaking part, is that Suyi through everything, through all these little scenes, all these little things that she's done, just clearly cares so much about her, and just can't really say it more than that. Just she cares about her, and can't really stop when, can't really convince her otherwise after the breakup, just lets it happen. And just, it's a difficult day for women.
Right. Absolutely. God, just thinking about that moment when Young just tells her, "Why don't you quit if it's too hard?" That's very heartbreaking. That was probably the most heartbreaking thing. One on the list of other things.
Top 10 heartbreaking moments.
Heartbreaking thing Young has said to Suya. It's like being told to give up by someone you love and care about, a person you told all your hopes and dreams to, and like plans for the future. Is like Suya talks about how much she wants to be able to take care of her, be good to her.
The ways they love each other, they just aren't that compatible, even though they love each other, and it is tough to see. Hurts just a little bit.
It hurts a lot.
Hurts a lot.
That's a lot.
Good movie.
It's super good. It's
I didn't know what I was getting into. I just joined to watch the movie, and I was like, okay, well, I'm ready for some romance. And
Rose's evil trick.
I knew I was going into something sad. I just
they're
didn't
beating me with
understand.
hammers.
I didn't know how hard the hammers were gonna hit. It is such a beautiful, moving movie. It's so harrowing. Same amount of tension you will feel in like a horror movie.
A little bit.
It's like, it's like, no, don't go in there. The killer's in there. It's like, no, don't say that. They'll ruin your relationship. No, open up, please. And
I feel like, in discussing this movie, it's hard not to just be sad at each individual moment, but there's a lot of very, very real beauty in just like the art and just every little moment, the moments they share that they, maybe they don't realize what it means for both of them. And it's very sweet. It's very sweet and very sad.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking movie, and it's great to see this kind of thing come out of an independent animation studio.
Definitely.
it's very wonderful. And it's just like, just worth watching another, just an experience, and like different ends, and maybe our listeners will like watch it and find some details that we didn't notice. Any last thoughts on the summer?
I really liked the the character at the start in the very first scene who sees Young just get hit by a soccer ball in the face and just kind of stands there and then walks away. Shout out to that person.
Yeah, Kelsey. I think Kelsey pointed that person out.
Underrated character.
Alright, everyone. Thank you all for coming to this episode of Café Lily, where we go through it with the summer.
Thanks for joining us, Connie.
Hang in there, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming, Connie.
Do you have anything you want to promote before you
Oh,
head out?
I will have Yuri, created by me, to read eventually. And you can probably find it on Petal and Leaf eventually. So watch out.
Watch out.
Keep me in the back of your mind. I'll be there to strike when you're not ready.
Alright, everybody. Good night.
See you next year.